So, I'm absolutely done with PFF. Completely done. This is the grades from last night. And the full grades come out at 4 p.m. So, we won't have all the grades in this video. We just had the pass blocking grades. But last night, our offensive line played the best they have played in a very, very long time. They went out there, 47 dropbacks, allowed 2 sacks. I forget the exact number. I can't find it for some reason. I've looked all over the internet. It's something like they allowed, I think it was like 25% of pressures or something. It's like something record-setting. It's one of the best offensive line performances Joe Flacco has had since 2018. Like, it was just outside of their own dang mind. They played like they had families to feed. And it was a beautiful sight, and I give all the props in the world to the offensive line. And then I go to PFF, and man, our right guard had an 18.4. Dalton had an 18.4 at left guard, which also kind of interesting. Fairchild didn't play, and Dalton ended up being the left guard in this game. Mims had a 56.6. Teddy K had a 59.7. Like, I'm kind of done with PFF grades, man. Like, this is kind of my, this is kind of my nail in the coffin. Like, I don't understand grades anymore. I thought I understood grades, but I really don't. Because I look, and we have one of the best offensive line performances in a very long time. I look at the grades, and it's just like, yeah, they sucked. They were awful. They're trash. They're garbage. And I know PFF, listen, I understand PFF. You got to take it with a grain of salt, right? Because it's all about sample size. It's also their personal grading system, so it's just how they look at it. And I also believe they based it not just on, like, not always just based on how good the player did, but also, like, the fundamentals and the techniques that they might have missed on here and there throughout the game, right? So, like, for example, if they miss a block or something where they should have did this or that, they kind of graded based off that. But, listen, all I know is one thing. Last night, if you look at the stats, TJ Watt had half a sack, okay? He had half a sack versus what would be one of the worst offensive lines in the game. Who else they got? They got Cam Haywood, did absolutely nothing in this game. Half a sack as well, so him and Watt actually combined for a sack. 2 tackles, 1 for a loss. 0 tackles, 1 for a loss. Like, when you go against an amazing defensive line with Keanu Benton, TJ Watt, and Cam Haywood, and you absolutely silence those guys, make those guys absolutely nothing burgers, I don't want to see the grades like PFF gave us. Because that's 100% in my book. Every single offensive line position from that game, 100%. Because that's your job. Your job is to make sure those guys do not impact the game. Protect your quarterback. And protecting your quarterback is making sure those guys are not involved. And that's exactly what the offensive line did. They did exactly what they needed to. 47 dropbacks. But again, little side note here. We were able to run the ball. We were able to throw the ball. When you can run the ball, you can pass the ball. When you can pass the ball, you can run the ball. And that's another factor here. The offensive line will benefit greatly from being able to run the ball. And if you can throw the ball, it helps out the offensive line as well. Last thing I'll say here is that's another reason why I give them all 100s across the board. They have been not the greatest offensive line when it comes to holding the run blocks and allowing the running backs to be able to be successful. In this game, they did it. They were amazing in helping out the run game. They were amazing in protecting Joe Flacco. PFF, you dead to me. You dead to me. Because I don't understand the whole thing. Like, that makes no sense in the slightest. We go out there and put out the best offensive line play in probably Bengals' last 5 years history, and you give them all crap grades. I don't know, man. That's tough to me. That's tough to me. I get it, but not my cup of tea. I will say, though, Samaje Perine does have a really good grade, too, which I really like. And this is something that we have seen a lot, is Samaje Perine and Chase Brown, Drew Sample. Those are also guys that need a lot of credit. Because we saw it throughout this game, and we see it, pretty much over the last couple years as well. Zach Taylor, he always likes to keep an extra tight end in there, an extra running back in there. They do what we call a block and release play. You block the guy, help out the lineman, and then you release out and you become a receiver. And it works so well when you have good blockers. And Drew Sample, Chase Brown, Samaje Perine, these are guys that really, really good when it comes to, just block and release, block and release, block and release. It helps so much to take out guys like a TJ Watt, like a Cam Haywood, like a Keanu Benton, like a, whoever else, right? So, again, last thing I'll say is I also think it's the fact of how fast Joe Flacco gets the ball out as well. Jake Browning would sit back there for 5 or 6 seconds, and that's just, at some point, it's not even the offensive line's fault. At some point, that's just Jake Browning. This game, what we saw was the opposite, was Joe Flacco gets that ball out so quick that you don't have to block it long enough that you're able to actually do stuff. So, again, at the end of the day, the only guy here who should really be just kicking everything is Jake Browning. Because Jake Browning had the exact same system, the exact same offense, the exact same receivers, and he could barely get first downs. And now Joe Flacco comes in, and with the exact same everything, is putting up 33 points and winning a game. So, it is what it is, but the offensive line deserves a lot of praise from last night. PFF, you dead to me. Come on now. I think Pat McAfee recently said that. He recently talked about how PFF is kind of just like, eh. But he was talking about the quarterback ratings and stuff, rankings. But still, PFF, man, how do you do your grades? Like, I would love for them to do a video on how they do the grades, because this is just, come on, man. Do better. Do better. And what you really should do is, not that one right there. Hold up. Not that one. And that one right there. Become a member of the channel. Help support the channel. You also get custom emotes on the right-hand side there. Added to every single description. And there's our 12 members on the screen. See you guys next one, though. Peace out.